Boop, 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 boo. Okay. Boop, 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 boo. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Oh. All right, I may be going live. I'm sure no one is watching at this time. I'm still trying to get the link out to the person whose script I'm reading. And I've got a bunch of windows open, but I cannot find the right link. Very strange, but it's 3 o'clock Eastern, so I guess I should probably get started here. All right, well, I guess I can always edit this later. Maybe let me just go into here and start recording just so I have another version of it. Now it appears to have frozen. Or maybe it's working. All right, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this script. The author has graciously allowed me to show everyone its name and her name. So this is a screenplay called You Wish. And what I'm going to do is read through it. If you're watching this for the first time, which you most likely are, I am not a professional screenwriter, although I have gotten paid once for a script, partial payment. I've written, produced, and directed 3 of my own scripts because I got tired of spec scripts not going anywhere. I've done a little script doctoring and I've done a lot of script analysis and review on several websites. And so, as I will say every time, this is 100% my opinion. It carries no weight in the real world. I mentioned on Facebook that I have talked to a producer, and he's said, well, Jack, if you come across any completed scripts in the $1 to $3 million range that are ready to go, let me know. And so that's sort of the impetus for these scripts that I'm going to look at today. And as I've also said, just my opinion, but if I start reading it and it's really not doing something for me or anything for me, I'm just going to hopefully graciously pull the plug and part friends. But at the least, I'll start reading, I'll make some comments, and I will also, I'll right click and add a sticky note if I feel like it, and then I'll save the script and send it to the writer so they have it he or she has it for future use. All right, let's get rid of that. I have not read this script. I'm literally just going through it for the first time. And here we go. First, let me just check one more time to make sure that it's working, which I believe it is. Unfortunately, my one channel has live content. Oh, it's live right now. All right, here we go. And I'm not necessarily going to read this out loud because my voice probably could not last that long. So you can just sort of read along with me. Fading high school history. I would, not to start out right away, but is this day or night? I'm pretty particular on formatting, even though, technically it has nothing to do with the story. It has nothing to do technically with how good a script is, but it's really the little things that, from what I've heard and read and gotten feedback on, readers will find any excuse to stop reading your script. I'm sure we have all heard that, and from what I have heard, it's 100% true. So don't give them a reason with typos, with weird formatting, with huge blocks of text or dialogue. Even though your story might be amazing, it's possible that they will just quit reading it. So the other thing is, when it comes to caps, I'm pretty much old school. Characters when they're introduced, sound effects that are extraordinary to the scene. In other words, if a door shuts, you don't have to put shuts in capital letters because it's obvious it shuts. If it's something off screen, etc. I'm not big in just capping for the sake of capping, like to draw your attention to it because it slows down the read. And again, that's the last thing you want to do. I love white space. Whatever. Here we go. So day or night, we assume it's day. And we don't know for sure. First day of class. All right. I don't know how we would know it's the first day of class unless we heard some dialogue here. And I don't know how we would know it was 10 years ago. How will the audience know this? If I make some typos, I'll probably just leave them. I'm not going to fix anything in my comments. Student stream in the school. The grade 8s. The grade 8s. Okay. And it goes back. So what door is he going towards? This, again, these comments probably have nothing to do with how great the story is or anything, but it's just as I'm reading it and I'm trying to visualize it, that's where I'm trying to come from here. So slouches toward the door. Is that the door to his classroom? Or it's probably it's the door to the school. My bad. Not a popular kid. This is kind of editorializing, which I'm not a big fan of. Always from the show me, don't tell me, but I think we would get the picture there. So right here, this is a group of grade 8 students, and then there's one speaking here, but they haven't been introduced in caps. So that's kind of it could go either way in terms of that. Okay, there's a double space here and there's no period here. Okay. So he backhands the annoyance, but he doesn't actually hit him. All right, I'm going to try to stop being so picky and just read. And then, sorry, the child, I guess I don't think of an 8th grader, well, still is a child, but when I read child, it sounds like a 6 or 7-year-old. So this right here, we've just seen that, so I would give maybe some insight into Jimmy because we know this because it's just happened. Maybe some insight as to why. Keeps walking. And I assume Ramsey obviously says this and Jimmy hears it. Oh, this I is capitalized and it should not be. All right. I just use one. Oh, good. Hey, Susan. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. Some of this stuff, I don't want to speak as I'm speaking to Susan because I'm speaking to everyone watching. Some of this stuff is purely well, it's all subjective, and some of this is just what I've seen, but I have always just heard and seen one dash here on the day or night. And I'm not looking at any comments right now. I don't want to get thrown off because I would probably even screw this up wider than I am right now. An office with a secretary behind it. So this must be looking through an office window, and we see the secretary in there. A staff room. The door opens. I'm not sure which door this is. Maybe the staff room. Suitcase. Ooh. A voice follows her. I would say, who is this? Is that voice going to come in later? Is it male or female? Is it a teacher? I'm not sure. Oh, see, now here's only one dash, which is good, but there's no space here, so there should be a space right there. I would probably just delete this sentence because it doesn't, it's kind of a very subjective thing. This might not be needed. That's not really visual. Here's visual right here. This tells us everything we need to know. Appropriate comics. Also, you have some places you have double spaces and some you have singles. I always prefer singles, if only because it helps save space. Bell rings, yes. I'm not going to nitpick, but I do like that put into caps and maybe even put bell into caps. So are these students, do they enter? Are these students entering or already in? And Susan, if you're watching this, you're probably yelling at me right now saying, it's obvious, it's obvious. But again, this is just my thoughts as I'm reading. Because I know the bell rang, and so are they coming into the room? Ramsey joins them. The Greg. Oh, the... delete the... So here's his two buddies. Writes in her daytime, or we can't see what. So right here, it's called a day planner, and now it's called a day timer. Consistency is what readers and people who make up budgets and line producers love. Mr. Rogers, don't want to be in his neighborhood. Nice. That tells us a lot. I usually dwell on more on the bad than the good, but nice is usually my what I say instead of going into why I like something so much. Invisible. Yeah. All right. She's sending me messages during on Facebook that are popping up. In fact, they're popping up on the screen, so you can read what she says. So be careful what you say, Susan. Trying to be invisible. I think we already know this from what you described here, so maybe that's not needed. All right. She's sitting at her desk. You can, if you want. So he's a rude kid, even though maybe he's not the hero. All right, second bell rings. I don't know that I would say this on the first day of school to a new teacher, so let's mark him a jerk, which is fine. We need conflict and drama. Claire Parker. So these guys, for whatever reason, Greg and Ivan don't have last names, and Claire Parker does. So maybe she's more important. I don't know. How do we know she's self-confident? I guess just by the way she carries herself. On her way by. I might reword this sentence. It's got a lot of commas in it. Deliberately bumps into Jimmy's desk on her way by, or maybe just we don't even need those two commas right there. Rattling his composure. Indispensable pencils. So Jimmy knows her. And now we know her name. I don't think you would need a comma here. May not even need precisely, because if he's lining them up, most likely he's going to be doing it imitating, sorry. That's good. So Claire is maybe a jerk too. We don't know. He stopped. This is a very small point. These are all nitpicky things, even though you said you don't mind. The person we heard speak is Claire, and even though she said Jimmy, he right here usually is implying this. Like right here, this says Claire, and then we say he, which we know refers to Jimmy, but now we've got Claire talking about Jimmy, and now we've got he. So I would say Jimmy stops lining up. But that's not going to help the story. Sorry. I'll try to be a little more insightful. She flies. All right, so she's kind of a jerk too. So they greet each other, but since there's no dialogue, they're not saying anything. Maybe they're doing like their friend's greeting or something. They greet each other. Class, Jimmy bites his lip, straightens up. Very right, man. Quiet. Aha, maybe Jimmy's got a crush on her because he obviously is speaking too low to be heard. Here's another tiny little nitpicker, which someone told me many years ago, and someone I've heard from many people, even though this sounds totally silly, having single words on a line, I guess they call them orphans or whatever, but believe it or not, I've spent way too long going through scripts of my own, removing singles by either making the sentence longer or making it shorter. It's just like a weird, tiny little thing that once you get used to not seeing them, when you see them, you're like, we all miss Jimmy. So he's definitely a jerk. Lurches away. Okay, lurches away. Kids. Tears, yikes. So his chair must come back and hit Jimmy's desk. I'm just obviously thinking visually, not story-wise. I always like to try to picture it, since after all, it is a movie. So he is a total jerk. She's trying to get the class under control. So she did sit down. I'm just seeing that now because she half rises. Attention. Where did, so she's sitting near the front because she turns around to face the class. Okay. I don't know if fidgeting has 2 T's or not. It may only have 1, but I could be wrong. Fidgeting. I think it only has 1 T. Getting up, fidgeting. I mean, I'm not a great speller, so I use spell check a lot. Ooh, a heart with Claire's initials. Oh, so Ramsey's sitting behind Jimmy. Wait a minute. Ramsey slides into the desk in front of Jimmy's. Trees to see over his protective arm. So he's turning around and looking at Jimmy. Ooh, the heart changes to a dagger. How would you change a heart to a dagger? She turns to the blackboard. Phillips. Should be a period here. Period. Inside the quote mark. My name is Miss Phillips. Ooh, blood drips. These marks making a pyramid out of it. So this is always a weird thing because she hasn't said it yet, and yet you say that he's freezing right here. So Ramsey, under his breath, wonder if her mom ran away from home. Jimmy freezes. Maybe I would put that right here. This could maybe or maybe not have a comma there. It's back at Jimmy. So Ramsey is definitely sitting in front of Jimmy. Okay. Miss Phillips. Her name is Miss Phillips. Miss Phillips. So she's just repeating herself. All right. This could probably be condensed a little bit. This could probably be said in one sentence. I would put this in quotes probably, or in bold or something. He's writing it on a piece of paper, I assume. This, I would just get rid of this line of dialogue and maybe show that Claire, or not Claire, but Elise probably. Maybe she just points to the next student, or maybe the students just go on their own because this doesn't bring us any new information. Am I coloring or is pink? I don't know if they're sitting next to each other. Oh, there's next in the row. So does this imply that Ramsey is sitting next to the girls? I don't know. So this is good. Ramsey is a total jerk. Looks crossly around. Jimmy is next. So I'm just trying to lay out the geography of the room in my head. So Jimmy is behind Ramsey. And so maybe he's sitting at the end of a row. Maybe they both are. Like over there is not to be a loser. So he wrote this here. And is this something new? Or is this just a continuation of this? I'm not sure. I'm Jimmy and my favorite color is pink. That's good. All right, this is good. She has a little bit of spunk to her. Maybe another tiny small thing. What I've seen, I don't want to make this like it's all my opinion, but I think what I've seen and what I picked up is when someone gets interrupted, I do 2 dashes. And when they trail off, then ellipse. And I don't put a space right here, but whoopee. So I'm Jimmy and then she interrupts, which we see. But if you put a dash there, I don't think you need to say interrupting because that's taken for granted. Also for Sharma, missing a period. Probably a comma officially there. Here, Miss Phillips. Otherwise, it sounds like she's calling a dog. Wait a minute. Ramsey steps on his notebook. He bends to pick it up. Okay, so they both lean down and pick it up. Steps on the words. Oh, so the notebook is open. Get off. You get off. Let me have my book. Get off. That almost sounds like he's sitting on it. Take your foot off. Get off. You get off. Let me have my book. They scuffle. Yikes. So during the scuffle, he manages to read the sentences. So the notebook is now uncovered, and they're like tussling with it, I guess. Strides. Down the road. Ooh, I like it. Susan, you can see your note there. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, it has nothing to do with the story. And when people point stuff out like that on mine, I say, well, it has nothing to do with the story. But if it slows you down and it pulls you away from the story you're telling, that's what really is something that I just work. And I'm sure you have, and I'm sure everybody does. But I like this. She's taking control. She reads the note. It's not real nice, but okay. Oh, show no fear. There we go. So she's demonstrating what she just said. I like that. She puts, okay. She looks at Jimmy's retreating back. Does that mean he's retreating as in going backwards, in which case you wouldn't need back? But if it's his retreating back, then he is facing away from her. In which direction is he walking? Is he retreating forwards with his back to her? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what it's getting across. If they're headed to the door, if Ramsey and Jimmy are both walking to the door, I don't know. So they're going to the office. We got 2 dashes here. I would just have 1. There we go. We got live commentary via Facebook. I guess if I had my chat open on YouTube, which I guess I could, that would probably freak me out. Okay, so time has passed. Ramsey and Jimmy were obviously in the room. Pushes the door shut. Oh, nice. I would put a comma here. And I don't know that loser would be capitalized. It's because there is a comma here, so that's good. So Jonah pushing the door. There's an orphan thing, which again isn't a big deal. Man, Jimmy, I do not foresee good things happening to Jimmy's enemies. Hopefully it's not like a Carrie situation. But this is, I mean, it sets it up well. We know who's the good and who's the bad, who's the ugly. Each comes from around the corner. So they're outside. The corner of the school. There's no period here. I don't understand, I guess. They're near the door. It comes around the corner, I'm not sure. Probably, the warning is probably implied there. Score off for a moment, turn away from each other. Breaks, walks away from the school when he's gone far enough. I don't know how far that is. Does he walk down the steps and when he gets to the bottom, then he breaks into a run maybe? Or when he's sure the others aren't following? I don't know. All right, 2 dashes there. Half mode. I have a phobia, not a phobia, about passive sentences. And even though this is a minor one, you could say the well-mown lawn or the half-mown lawn, the gas lawnmower abandoned, whatever. Whenever you can get rid of is or are, I've been told, get rid of them. Whoops, rated R. Let's see where the mower stopped. Okay, this is a mystery. That's fine. Throws his backpack onto the lawn. Does he just, I assume he kind of shrugs it off and lets it fall onto the lawn as opposed to like throwing it onto the lawn. He primes the motor, holds down, pulls the lever, start, nothing. So Claire's friends, are they the same friends from her classroom? I assume, but we don't know. The casting, not the casting director, but the line producer, somebody will want to know. Deep in conversation of the I said, then she said. So again, no dialogue isn't important. That would be a question I would ask. So she glances him. We don't know why. That's fine. I usually triple space between scenes. I just realized that. I think that's kind of a standard thing. Speaking of that, why is there a new slug line here? Jimmy's house day, Jimmy's house day. I don't think this needs to be here unless this is later, but it doesn't appear to be. He kicks it in frustration. Does he pick up his backpack? I don't know if that matters or not. I'm not going to mention these double dashes or whatever. Cartoon music clears off. So this, again, is sort of describing it in an editorial way, and then this is kind of re-describing it. So unless that's literal crap, that may not be needed. I don't know how we would know this. Dropped in season and never picked up. Obviously, they're still not going to have snow on them, or I don't know what sandals and sunscreen would have, sand or something. I think you probably could just end it with a period right there. So he did pick up his backpack. Candles and candlesticks and a dead plant. I assume this is meaningful for some reason, so I'll have to remember that. This is obviously more of a reading convention for a reader than for the script, putting a colon there or ... or something. I understand the need. It's not necessarily necessary, but I do it too. Clean-ish dishes. Okay. The toolkit. So here's a situation. The toolkit is open, its guts exposed. Is that talking about the toolkit or is it talking about the dishwasher? I assume it's talking about the dishwasher. But the last thing we read was toolkit. Wow, he's a potty-mouthed little kid. I hope this doesn't get me pulled off YouTube. I'm glad I didn't say this was for children. Tackles the mess, slamming dirty dishes into the sink. He's a whole different guy at home. This is always a mystery, is when we haven't introduced a character if you use their name. I always go back and forth on that, but I think it's fine too. He turns around and then he turns away. So he's looking at Sandra, who is off screen. Maybe I would say, this isn't, okay, yeah, sorry. This should be off screen, unless, you know, it's some sort of omniscient voiceover, which it clearly isn't. So off screen instead of voiceover. So he looks at her, then he turns away, and then he turns back, and okay. Jumps up into his, okay. Plump's chest. Oh. And then she went like this, and Dad picked me up and carried me out of there. Wow. So she's 5. And I'd say A, she's got a very good memory, and B, she has a good vocabulary. So that's fine. So he's swearing in front of his little sister, so he's not a great big brother, I wouldn't say. Some toast and cheese. Toast and cheese with. Nice. What a guy. Yeah, I would... Tiny thing, I would just search and replace and get rid of these double spaces there to save room, which is kind of silly. How is school? So she's not in kindergarten. She's at a babysitter's, or supposed to be, but she's in the house. And so her dad picked her up and brought her back home. This should, maybe not capitalized. So we don't know where the dad is. All right, so, she's starting next week. Lots and lots of kids. Just like, ooh. Dun, dun, dun. That's good. Wait a minute. He puts it in the toaster. They have 10 seconds of conversation, and then the toast is done. That is a great toaster. I need one of those. He makes a slash. Do a smile. So you might consider it's like woefully under toasted, which may be kind of part of the funny thing. Excuse me. Did he pour this glass of juice or was it sitting out? I don't know. Ooh. Wow. So she is a 5-year-old who swears like a sailor. I'm not sure what does this refer to? What is this? When you go to kindergarten. Yeah, I don't know if that means she should talk like that when she goes to kindergarten or what. Oh, sorry. It explains it down there. All right, so the scene ends. I don't generally, and again, this is just me, I generally don't, unless it's like a super action thing, ending scene with dialogue is usually kind of a little, not strange, but I mean, what is the reaction that Sandra makes? Because that might say something, that might pay off him telling her this. She might make a face, she might laugh, she might frown, she might whatever, I don't know. But it seems like it would pay off better if it gave her some ending. All right. Ramsey walks in, turns into the clinic. Oh, sorry. Okay. Whoop. Wait a minute. This might just be, I'm not sure what this is. He's saying the exact same thing twice. So I don't know if this is someone else or just repeated dialogue that shouldn't be there. Bruce Lee, that's a retro reference. I guess this is still 10 years ago, but we're not sure what the date, how long ago this took place. Why is he not allowed? I'm not sure. This should be they. Susan, I can't imagine someone reading my script and making all these little nitpicking things. You must really, I don't know, not a fun exercise probably. Safety panel. There's a single thing. Well, that's good. Keep going. I will. I'm getting a tickle in my throat for some reason, but I will persevere. There's no spaces between the hyphen. She probably doesn't need to say his name there because they obviously know each other. I don't know if doctor would be capitalized there. I don't think it would be. So he turns around and looks at Ramsey turns around and looks at Edward. And he smirks. Man, he is a jerk. The door connecting the reception area to the office area glides shut. That almost makes it sound like it is a horizontally sliding door as opposed to a regular door. This looks like triple spaced right here. This is a little maybe on the nose. This is the first dialogue that I've read that I kind of perked up at. If he knows better than to ask, then I don't know that his dad would say that. He might just ignore him. And he knows it's Mr. Fontaine because he heard it up here. So maybe you could condense that You know, you could tie in Mr. Fontaine and Jimmy is down there. So maybe you could condense that into one line of dialogue and have his dad just react. Yeah, with this would be good. So he doesn't really like well, we don't know if he doesn't like his son. I would probably say interior staff room day, but not super necessary. Half-eaten should be hyphenated. It sits on the table and then Ramsey sits. Resentful. Is he resentful because of the birthday cake? Or is he resentful because what his dad did? So his dad comes right in after him. You have this convention, which again is everyone's opinion, of hyphenating things. I guess you could put a comma or nothing. Hyphen is fine. He shakes it off. Again, this is a classic. A trap that we all fall into, you know. So he knows, the son knows, the father knows, but the audience doesn't know. So the father right here is talking to the audience in effect. Yeah. And yeah, it may go without saying anyways. I think this is the only line we need. We know the father's got some compassion. This line right here isn't needed, I don't think. Picks up a chunk of cake. So he passes the cake over. Does he? So he cuts a piece. Albert keeps the piece, passes the cake to Ramsey. Ramsey just picks up a chunk without cutting it. I'm not sure. If that was 100% clear, that would definitely reveal more character, so that would be good. So this is like an establishing shot of the apartment. I guess that's the living room, and now we're in the bedroom. Might need a little more explanation there. I don't know what a student apartment is. I'm guessing this looks like maybe it was you're in the UK or something, based on how you spell certain words, which is more correct than we spell them probably. Can we see? I assume, on the one hand, if this book of great expectations, great quotations is open, how would we know what they are? And if it's closed, then she wouldn't be reading them. Okay, I'm going to have a bunch of Facebook messages to read when this is over. I should see if the chat is active. All right. Oh, Ben, here we go. A love interest. So front room must be the living room, which is probably what we saw here. I don't think a comma is needed there. Comes in the door carrying a bunch of flowers. All right, so this is always a trick. You don't want to necessarily direct the director, but he moves from the front room into the bedroom, and then this plays out in the bedroom. So theoretically, you would say something like he goes into, and then colon or something, and then you would come back into the bedroom. Either that, or you would not go into the front room. We would just hear this off screen. We'd hear the door open, and we'd hear him say, "Elise," and then he would take a beat. He would hear her running on the treadmill, and then he would appear in the doorway holding the flowers. And that might be a kind of a cute introduction along with this. Stops the machine. So, so the exercise machine is set up such that she can't see him. So she hasn't seen the flowers yet. I don't know if that matters or not. There's no indication here that he sees, that she sees the flowers that I've seen. This, again, this is like an editorial comment that would maybe be a challenge for an actor to pull off, but maybe not. How'd it go? Or you could just get rid of this sentence because this tells the story, or she just turns around with a big scowl on her face or something. All right, so show no fear. I like that. That came from Ben. Yeah, they're like, this is like the Lion King. Or, yeah, the Lion King? Yeah. Starts. So she has to start the machine, and then she runs to keep up with it. Okay. Gives her a hug. Ooh, that's pretty nice that he gives her sweating either wife. No, she's not married, so his girlfriend a hug. All right, again, I would like to lobby for some reaction from her to pay this scene off. We don't know if she's happy, she's sad, she's resigned, she's exactly what. But it feels like a payoff. Just like when Ramsey and Jimmy went to the office, we have no idea what happened in there. I mean, we assume they got warnings or something, but we don't know the consequences. Another day, comma. I'm not being very good at putting all of my marks in there. Stands at the door of the classroom. Taking students off on a list. She's ticking them off, as in making them mad. No, not really. That's fine. Most students nod or smile. Okay, that's good. I think I get this, but I would either put a pause between each of those or just say boom, 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 because I don't know that I've ever seen dialogue written like that, although it makes sense. So, as they enter. So these people, she's entering, he's entering, he's entering. So, okay, they're all entering the room. Again, he looks up. I would say Jimmy looks up. Good morning, morning. Ramsey comes in. Ramsey, morning. Let's see if we can get through this. Okay, good, good. Bell rings. So right here, you didn't capitalize rings where you did before. I would say yes on that because it's like an off-camera, off-screen thing that was going to have to be probably added in post-production, unless you're going to have a live bell, which you wouldn't. So they're all standing, and now they all sit. Maybe that's normal. Seeming more at ease. Oh, seemingly more at ease. I don't think there's a comma needed there. No comma needed. Alarmed looks. You might even grow to enjoy it. I don't know. I would either combine these two lines of dialogue, or I don't even know if they're 100% necessary. If she just walks and talks and boom, just starts right with that. Or maybe she could just say something, I don't know, something to draw their attention, but I don't think I would cut right to here, I think. The purpose of writing to communicate. I assume the kids know the purpose of writing and reading is to communicate. Funny language to torture you. Maybe there's a way she would say this like up here. Maybe she would just say reading and writing. And then go right to here. Because this is kind of self-evident. To torture you. I don't know if she means funny or... I know what you mean by funny, but... You know, Old English. To torture you. Who's Shakespeare? Is this serious? Wow. Swarm of springs around you. So, another thing is... sorry. We've got all these people in class, but not the casting director. I keep saying that. Somebody needs to know who needs to be, what actors need to be on set that day. And so you should really introduce them all in some sort of action so we know who's there, because suddenly we've got Sharma swinging around, but we've never established that she's there, which she obviously is. So that's just a little thing. So these are ninth graders, and they don't know who Shakespeare is, or at least one of them doesn't. He's either really stupid, sorry, he's not very smart, or he's saying this sarcastically, which he apparently isn't. And then she's repeating this, and then she's giving the answer to it. What if I'll rewrite your script for you. No. What if Ivan just whispered to Greg and said Shakespeare? And then she overhears it and looks at him and rolls her eyes, which would be bullying these days. But, and I don't know that she would have to give all this information. The audience may already know this, maybe not. But I think if he just said Shakespeare, this line isn't needed, I don't think. She could just point at it and say the greatest playwright of the 16th century, maybe ever. So you could cut that down. You definitely don't need Shakespeare there. Oh no. Greg. I'm not sure what this line refers to. This no doesn't need to be capitalized, obviously. Oh no. Is he worried? This is confusing to me. I'm not sure if he's worried about it. Holy cow, this has almost been an hour already. Susan, I don't think we're going to get through your script today. The whole script. I am enjoying it. I shouldn't be nitpicking. I should just be reading straight through it. In fact, if you kind of want me to power read up to like page 30 without going through all this, just send me a Facebook message and it'll pop up there. Otherwise, I don't know that well, who knows. He also wrote poetry. I guess. Power reading would be fine. Yeah, sorry about this. Very detailed. All right, I'm just going to try to go through. I just have a hard time doing that. Final thing, I don't know. Okay, sorry. I don't know that he also wrote poetry is needed, because maybe she would just go into posing her dramatic ear. All right, I'll do my best. I don't know that I would repeat all of that. Ha. Nice. How would Claire know that? I don't know. Huh. All right. To put bums. Okay, that's definitely British. This is really exciting. Listening to me or not say anything while I read it, I just realized that. Give you each a week. I'm going to start off each week named. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce that. How embarrassing. Euripides. Nice. She is becoming more likable. Not that she wasn't. Pale? Paul. Oh, Paul of Night. So she turns and writes on the board. So she has to turn back to the class, I would assume, to say this line. All right, that's good. Lines go up. So this is some sort of a cutaway to see him doodling. That's fine. That is just a bird clock in the background. All right. At first I thought she was saying, tell us what your doodle means, but she's talking about the quote whispers. She pins Ramsey down with the... Oh, okay. Ooh. You're going to the office. Of someone who isn't getting them into trouble. Okay. So Ramsey must not be too smart if he doesn't understand, if he's never heard this saying here. But this is good. I like this. What words to that effect? Lines. Is this, I don't know Hamlet very well, but I assume this is how the play starts. The class look at each other. I guess that's, maybe he's like a centerfold. Oh, very good. Jimmy is scoring points. I like it. Montage of students reading. I don't think you need a colon there. Fred and Greg. So I assume we've never seen them before because they're capitalized. This is hard with a whole room full of students. Half reads. I would hyphenate that. So they're like talking in small groups. Maybe they're all got parts and they're reading it. I assume you have this spacing here because that follows the play. Ha! All right, this is good because I don't understand this either. Explanation. Ooh, walking together out of school. Grass is growing around it, so this is a week later, maybe. Sandra, oh, the little girl. Walk past the house, following them. Walk companionably. Ooh. I don't know that that's necessarily needed, but maybe it is. I think we know that it's to Marcus Place, so again, maybe that's not needed. Those guard guys scared. Those guard guys are scared of the ghost. All right, they're talking about the bug game. Oh, big shots or appearance. Okay. So she exits the house and barrels toward him. Might want to put that in there. She's dressed very badly. So she's dressed badly and clothes that don't go together. I guess one or the other of those is sort of implied. You could just, in fact, just say she's dressed up like a tramp for Halloween. That would tell us what we need. So a week has passed at school. It seems like all we need to know is they laughed at me, because we already know they're talking about kindergarten. Sympathetic or empathetic? Want to come in, Mom and I are going shopping. Where? Whose house are they by? Want to come in? I'm a little confused. They're at Jimmy and Sandra's house, and Alice is saying want to come in. They're going shopping. She won't just give you the money, I wish. She has the worst taste. Again, ending a scene with dialogue is not my favorite. All right, so we're in their house, in the living room. Whoa. Oh, first and last name instead of their father. So here's the guy we saw. I guess if it's gray, maybe we know it's unhealthy looking. Maybe not. Comes and glares. Ooh, that's good. Good tension. Whoa, $100. Wow, he's got plenty of money. Interesting. Wait, so it's $100 bill. Wait a minute. So is this taking place in the U.S., I guess? Sorry, I thought this was taking place in the U.K. Need a street map. Need groceries. The lawnmower's broken. All right, so there's $100. There's $100 more dollars. So he's not a super poor guy. He helplessly holds Sandra and the money. Ah, Canada. Okay. So he's got $300. Oh, no, $200. Just take care of it. There's a good boy. Into the kitchen. Orphan word. Sits eating toast. Looks at the phone book. Stabs out a number. Is he dialing? So this is a phone book. Wow, this is like the old days, isn't it? I don't know if that needs to be updated or if it matters. I guess it's still 10 years ago. I hate him. I hate Mommy. Oh, I like this. I hate mommy. I have to bring it to you. So Jimmy's a little not wise. Again, I would have him hang his shoulders or something like that. Yeah, I know. I've got scripts like that too, written before cell phones or flip phones, and suddenly you realize it feels ancient. So, yeah, times they are a changing. Camera up, tool on board. The meter shows $5. Does the meters on the cabs are on the outside? How would we know that? I don't know. You're sure it's not like I don't see any. Opens the trunk. Oh, pool of oil. That is not good. Look at the mess. I would maybe consider when the cab driver swears and we see all of that, Jimmy just peels off 100 and gives it to him, because this doesn't really tell us anything we don't already know. I can't break it. I should take it all. I know. Yell at my brother. Whoa, I like this. Maybe all he has to say is, I can't break that. He holds the 100 out with the other hand. Oh, so he hasn't given it to him yet. Okay. Just get out of here, but go. You've caused me enough trouble already. So they didn't even pay him the $5. It's a good deal. So this cab driver, should be introduced somewhere in the action again for the person who is putting the script together. They know they had to cast a cab driver, but he should be mentioned somewhere there. I like that. Sandra the guard dog. Jimmy walked together towards the kids' clothing store. She lifted up his Spangley. Like that. All right, we don't know if she's telling the truth, but that's good. Yikes. I'll have to get a lot more money from Dad. How much is this? So he's got $200. Although we don't know. They walk into the repair shop. Oh, I just read this. They walk into the repair shop, and yet we can still hear them and see them. And we don't know what happens here. So we assume they went in, they told them about the no, but we don't know how much it's going to cost. All right, that's a little bit confusing, I guess. All right, oh, Claire's mom. Okay, I have a lot more money. So it's a very expensive dress. I don't know if we need to see the price tag or not. Through clothes in the late teen section, Claire stands up looking sulky. So, this is sort of, obviously we're moving to a different part of the store. We might, you might say like elsewhere in the store, like a, not a slug line, but a scene description or a scene header, something, because we don't know if at this point we can see Jimmy and Sandra or not. I want to call you if you can't get it. I can't read your mind. If you tell me what you want, I'll tell you if you can get it. Oh, all right. This is a little bit wordy, I think. Is that? Whoa. Oh, Eileen. So Eileen knows Jimmy. She walks over to them, meaning, okay, Jimmy and his sister. And is this big girl Sandra? Since you were a wee little thing. This is probably implied from, and is this big girl Sandra? I don't know that this dialogue is super necessary. Sandra hides behind Jimmy, and then we go right to this line of Eileen's, maybe. We're getting me some summer clothes. So they just started school, and they're getting summer clothes. That it seems like school clothes, maybe. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what it says. My bad. School clothes. You can't be alone. Even panties. How about if Claire and I help? Oh, wow. Good job, Eileen. I like it. He smiles sympathetically. I don't know that he would smile. He's not in sympathy with Claire, maybe? I don't know. Because this, to me, this implies that she smiles at him and then he smiles back, but not necessarily. Boys have no taste. Just look. It's me or him, Sandra. Sandra looks at Jimmy and then at Claire. Wow. So they must know him pretty well if he's going to leave his 5-year-old sister, unless something bad is going to happen. Claire rolls her eyes. Okay, what's next? The malt shop. I'll have to get some groceries here for Sandra's clothes. Here's another tiny formatting thing is having an orphan line on the beginning of a new page and then cutting to a new scene. That's another, I don't know about pet peeve, but something that I always avoid just because, I don't know. I'll spend like minutes or hours, not hours, but changing something here to bring this line up to the end of that page because it's just a lot cleaner to start like that. All right, so hands her the money. Cheapest goods. Okay. Now this is shopping. I think maybe Sandra squeals with delight or something. Some reaction. Oh, reaction from Sandra. And how about, what's Claire? Is she like following them? Is she off doing her own thing? Or what? Compares prices. Generic Cheese Whiz. Oh, he's going for the Cheese Whiz. Although this should be capitalized probably because that was. All right, so Claire is enjoying this too. I spelled Claire wrong in this comment, I think. So I wonder if that comes in. We could go check. Maybe it's just a mother and daughter look between them instead of having her have to say that, but maybe not. Whoop, need a comma. Or not a comma, but a hyphen, or a, you know what I mean, quotation. Let's see, do you want that dress? Mine is, oh yes. I think we're done our application. So they're buying all these things, including the dress, for the amount of money where Jimmy said he would need a lot more money. So you may want to, just the logic, or not the logic, but the logistics of that may need examining. Hurry up. I got an extra space here. We'll finish before Jimmy gets back. As the prices add up, he's bought vegetables. $97.20. Man, that, yeah, it seems like he would have had to buy a lot more than that for that. That, I don't know. That doesn't seem quite right. Comes to 50. So just the dress is 50. why don't you take Sandra to the malt shop? That would be swell. I like that. That's good. She probably, well, you know, maybe not smiling. Final tool is, oh, cut off the tags. Wow. I don't think there's a comma needed there. Wow, Eileen is very nice. I need to go shopping with her. Burdened with groceries. Sits with, he blinks when he sees the sentences. Was there enough money? Hands him. Wow. This is very nice of her, but I think that he would be very suspicious. He just bought $100 of groceries that fit in a couple bags, and she bought all those clothes. Back to the rack. See, now she's saying, oh, never mind. Surely we can find you one pair. Surely you can't be serious. Stop calling me Shirley. Again, I think Claire needs a reaction at the end of that scene. Like, or something. Ramsey and Albert. Tell me again why we had to move. There's really no context around that. Are they farther away? Did he used to have his own car? No, he's probably not old enough. I don't know. This sort of comes out of left field for me. Oh, they do get resolved. All right. Well, Susan and the rest of the world who I'm sure is watching this, this is definitely, I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm 29 pages in, a lot of scripts. I'll read like 4 pages and it'll be so poorly written I'll quit. So thank you. Going on an hour and 20 minutes here. So I'll probably end this stream and keep reading. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading right now. Otherwise, this will turn into literally a 3 or 4 hour deal, which probably no one is going to stick around for. But yeah, so I guess what I don't really feel... Oh, thank you. So I guess my comment at this point would be generally well written. I obviously have these nitpicky things. I like how the characters are developing. There's a lot of characters in the grand scheme of things, even though some of them are minor characters, especially for, this is like, goes without saying department, but I'll say it anyways. You know, classrooms full of kids and extras at a clothing store and in a mall or wherever. Anything you can do to reduce unnecessary characters would be probably a good thing. The ones that are kind of central so far are good, and I think they're drawn well. I guess the one thing I'm missing, obviously there's a story progression, but I'm not really feeling a structure like we've taken a jump into Act 2, because I see this is 93 pages long. So again, I'm very traditional in terms of structure, you know, save the cat and all that stuff. So in a 93-page script, by page 22-ish, we should have taken some big leap into Act 2, and maybe I've just been not reading it carefully, but I don't see like a real inciting incident, but maybe when I read through it again, I will. So maybe I'll do that before I say, but I guess that would be my one comment at this point is, I mean, there's obviously a story being told, but I don't feel like it's like barreling forward, and we're just sort of along for the ride. I guess that's kind of my comment right now. But I am going to keep reading it, and maybe I'll even, no guarantees, maybe I'll even start from the beginning and just read straight through it and see if I can get more of a sense of the pacing and that sort of thing. So with that, and I'll keep making a few notes in the script as I go. And then if I do end up stopping at some point, I'll let you know, and then I'll save this and send it back to you. All right, so that concludes, holy crap. That concludes the first marathon session here. I really enjoyed it. I don't know that anyone other than Susan is ever going to watch this, but hopefully, yes, thank you. I'm glad. And I was going to read another script if I pulled the plug on yours, but since I didn't, there's another one that someone had submitted that I will read maybe next week or whenever I do this again. So thanks, and hopefully people who didn't write this script can also sort of get something out of this other than just spending an hour and 20 minutes of your life watching me do this. So I am going to stop the stream right now, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again, Susan, and take care.